Hey teenagers, young people, thank you so much for coming back again and again. We shared something very interesting about mistakes. I don't know how many of you made so many mistakes this last week or week or so, but don't let your mistakes go. I told it, admit it, learn from it, don't repeat it, and go and make those mistakes again, yeah, unless you do it, right? Now, let me talk a little bit about mistakes. When people make mistakes, there are two things that they do. Very interesting. The first thing that they do is that they stop making mistakes. When you stop making mistakes, what happens is you come to a complacent space. You're not trying anything new. You have come to that comfortable space, and you're saying, is that not good? I'm not saying it's not good if you're someone who's not making mistakes, which is great, fantastic. You've got into your routine, you know exactly what to do, what to expect. You know your scenario, you know your environment, you know your people, which is just fantastic. But you know what? You will not grow. Because if you are venturing out to try something new, you will make mistakes. And that's one of the places where you will understand saying you're growing. You're growing. If you're someone who's going to a place where you're trying to do things very different, you will make mistakes. So people always say, I've stopped making mistakes. Maybe, don't repeat it. From that angle, yes, don't repeat those same mistakes that you had done it. But don't be afraid to make new mistakes. Because when you make mistakes is when you grow. I'm not giving you a full hands-on and saying, please make mistakes, make mistakes. And if you're someone who's not making mistakes and you're just amazing, hats off to you, great. I wish I was a teenager like you when I was a teenager. But all that I'm saying is, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Two things people do. One, they stop making mistakes, right? They say, no, I can't, I have to be very careful, and they're very, very afraid to make mistakes. So they stop making mistakes, which means they don't grow. The second thing people do is they spin their mistakes. What's spinning mistakes? Spinning mistakes is this, that they just say, put the blame on God, put the blame on people. Reason it, their mistakes, they reason it and say, no, I was actually trying to do that, that person came, if that person did not come and say this, and I would have not done it, they begin to, or sometimes with God, it's a very common thing that you begin to see. God will never do that, and I don't know why He allowed that to happen, We have to admit it. We have to come to a place. We can't spin mistakes, So don't stop mistakes or spin your mistakes. Come to a place and say, if you're making mistakes, I'm not saying you should make mistakes, you have to make mistakes, otherwise you will not grow. No, I'm not saying that. But if you make mistakes, don't be afraid about making mistakes. And if you're someone who's going in a direction, breaking barriers, having breakthroughs, treading new paths, you will make mistakes. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Keep carrying on. You're amazing, and that's why you're here.